You sign up for a gym membership, $80 a month. You go 3 times the first week. You feel great. You feel like you're finally getting in shape. Then life gets busy. You miss a few days, then a week, then 2 weeks. You haven't been to the gym in a month, but you're still paying $80. You tell yourself, I'll go next week. I paid for it, so I should use it. Next week comes. You don't go. Another $80 gone. 6 months later, you've been to the gym maybe 5 times total. You've spent $480, but you keep paying because I already invested so much money. If I cancel now, all that money was wasted.
Then your friend says, dude, just cancel it. You're not going.
And you snap back, but I've already paid $480. I can't let that go to waste. So you keep the membership. Another 6 months. Another $480. You go twice. You've now spent $960 on a gym membership you don't use. And the worst part? You convinced yourself you were being financially responsible by not, quote, wasting the money you already spent. This isn't you being stubborn. This is a cognitive trap that has bankrupted companies, destroyed careers, and kept people in toxic relationships and failing investments for decades. It's a phenomenon that explains why casinos make billions, why people stay in terrible jobs, and why the movie industry sometimes spends $200 million finishing a film everyone knows will flop. It's called the sunk cost fallacy. My name is Simon, and on this channel we expose the mental tricks that keep you broke. Most people think cutting your losses is wasteful. Today, I'm going to prove to you that cutting your losses is the only rational move. If you want to stop throwing good money after bad and actually keep what you earn, smash that like button and let's dive into the story of the plane that almost bankrupted 2 countries. To understand why you can't stop wasting money, we need to go back to the 1960s and meet the Concorde. The Concorde was going to be the future of aviation, a supersonic passenger jet that could fly from London to New York in under 4 hours. Britain and France partnered up, invested millions, and started building. But almost immediately, problems appeared. The plane was too expensive to build. It was too expensive to operate. It was too loud. Airport noise regulations were being passed that would ban it from most major cities. The market research showed airlines didn't even want to buy it. Any rational person would have said, cut your losses, cancel the project. But the British and French governments had already spent $1 billion, so they kept going. They told themselves, we've already invested so much. If we stop now, all that money is wasted. They spent another billion, then another. The problems got worse. The economics never made sense. But they kept building because we can't let the billion we already spent go to waste. By the time the Concorde finally flew commercially in 1976, the 2 governments had spent over $2.8 billion on a plane that never turned a profit. Airlines didn't want it. Passengers thought it was too expensive. It operated at a massive loss for 27 years until it was finally retired in 2003. The Concorde fallacy. They threw billions of dollars into a pit, trying to justify the billions they'd already thrown into the pit. The project became so infamous in economics that psychologists literally named the sunk cost fallacy after it. Now you're thinking, Simon, I'm not building supersonic jets. How does this apply to me? It applies to you every single day. The sunk cost fallacy is more expensive for regular people than it was for the British and French governments because you do it in 1,000 small ways that add up to financial ruin. Let's break down the gym membership trap in detail. You pay $80 for the gym in January. You go a few times. By February, you've stopped going. But you don't cancel. Why? I already paid for January. If I cancel now, I wasted that $80. This logic is completely backwards. The $80 from January is gone. It's spent. It's sunk. Whether you cancel or keep the membership, you're not getting January's $80 back. It's irrelevant to the decision. The only question that matters is, will I use the gym next month? If the answer is no, then keeping the membership means you're going to waste another $80. You're not saving the old money. You're just adding new waste to old waste. But your brain doesn't think this way. Your brain sees the $80 you already spent as an investment, and investments need to pay off. So you keep paying, hoping that someday you'll use it enough to make up for the money you already spent. This is the core psychology of the sunk cost fallacy. We try to justify past decisions by making future bad decisions. Humans are terrified of waste and regret. When we spend money on something and it doesn't work out, we feel stupid. We feel like we made a mistake. So instead of admitting the mistake and moving on, we double down. We keep investing, trying to turn the bad decision into a good one. But here's the cruel truth. Sunk costs can never be recovered. The money is gone. No amount of future spending will bring it back. The only thing you can control is whether you waste more. Let me show you how this destroys wealth in everyday life. The car repair spiral. You buy a used car for $5,000. It runs fine for 6 months. Then the transmission starts slipping. The mechanic says, "That'll be $2,000 to fix." You think, "That's a lot, but I already spent $5,000 on this car. If I don't fix it, I lose the $5,000. So you pay the $2,000. 3 months later, the engine starts knocking. $3,000 to rebuild it. You think, "I've already put $7,000 into this car. I can't give up now." So you pay the $3,000. 6 months later, the electrical system fails. $1,500. You're now $11,500 into a car that was worth $5,000 when you bought it. But you keep repairing it because I've already invested so much. You should have sold it after the first repair and bought a different car. But you were trapped by sunk costs. You threw $11,500 into a money pit trying to justify the original $5,000. The education trap. You start a 4-year degree in psychology. After 2 years and $40,000 in loans, you realize you hate psychology. You don't want to be a therapist. The job market is terrible. You want to switch to computer science. But you think, I've already spent 2 years and $40,000. If I switch now, those 2 years were wasted. So you finish the psychology degree. Another 2 years, another $40,000. Now you have a degree you'll never use and $80,000 in debt. You wasted 4 years and $80,000 trying to avoid wasting the first 2 years and $40,000. If you'd switched after year 2, you'd have a computer science degree, better job prospects, and only $80,000 in debt total with a useful degree. The stock market trap. You buy a stock at $50. It drops to $40. You think, if I sell now, I'm admitting I was wrong. I'll wait for it to go back to $50. It drops to $30. I've already lost $20 per share. I can't sell now. I need to wait for it to recover. It drops to $20. Then $10. You hold the entire way down because I've already lost so much. I might as well wait for it to come back. It never comes back. The company goes bankrupt. You lose 100% trying to avoid admitting you were wrong at $40. This is how the sunk cost fallacy destroys wealth. You keep pouring money into something that isn't working because you're trying to justify the money you already poured in. But the money you already spent is gone. It's irrelevant. The only question is this a good use of my next dollar? Let's break down the math that nobody wants to face. Scenario: you paid $960 for a gym membership you used 5 times. That's $192 per visit. Absolutely terrible value. But the $960 is gone. Sunk. Irrelevant to future decisions. The question is, should you keep paying $80 per month? Option A, keep the membership hoping you'll use it. You won't. You haven't used it in 6 months. Statistically, you won't start. Cost $80 per month forever. Option B, cancel and pay $15 per visit to a cheaper gym on the rare occasions you actually want to work out. Cost $15 times 2 visits equals $30 per month. Option B saves you $50 per month. But your brain doesn't want option B because it wastes the $960. But the $960 is already wasted. Keeping the membership doesn't unwaste it, it just adds new waste. This brings us to a brutal realization. The more you've already lost, the more important it is to cut your losses. When you're down $960 on a gym membership, that's exactly when you should cancel. Not in spite of the loss, but because of it. You've already lost $960. Why lose $1,920? When your car has eaten $11,500 in repairs, that's exactly when you should sell it. Not in spite of the $11,500, but because of it. You've already wasted $11,500. Why waste $15,000? The sunk cost fallacy tricks you into thinking the opposite. It makes you think, I've already lost so much, I have to keep going. But that's the trap. That's how small losses become catastrophic losses. So how do we escape? How do we override a cognitive bias that's hardwired into human psychology? We can't just think differently. We need systems. Here's my 3-step strategy to defeat the sunk cost fallacy. Strategy number 1, the zero-based decision framework. Every month, ask yourself, if I were making this decision today from scratch with 0 prior investment, would I choose this? If you didn't already have the gym membership, would you sign up for it today knowing you won't use it? No, cancel it. If you didn't already own this car, Would you buy it today for $11,500 knowing it needs constant repairs? Number, sell it. If you hadn't already spent 2 years on this degree, would you choose this major today? No, switch. This framework forces you to ignore sunk costs and evaluate only future value. It strips away the emotional attachment to past decisions. Strategy number 2, the 1-month probation rule. When you catch yourself justifying something with, "I've already spent X," put it on 1-month probation. For 1 month, track actual usage. Not intended usage, actual usage. Gym, did you actually go 3+ times this month? If no, cancel. Subscription, did you actually use it for 5+ hours this month? If no, cancel. Car, did the repair costs exceed $200 this month? If yes, sell. Real data defeats emotional reasoning. You can't lie to yourself about usage when you track it. Strategy number 3, the 10-10-10 rule. Before throwing more money at something, ask, how will I feel about this decision in 10 minutes, 10 months, and 10 years? 10 minutes, you'll feel relieved you didn't waste more money. 10 months, you'll be grateful you cut your losses early. 10 years, you won't even remember what you were upset about. Sunk costs feel massive in the moment, but they're irrelevant in the long run. This rule gives you perspective. Many people say, but isn't it wasteful to just give up? Here's the truth. Giving up is not wasteful. Giving up is often the most financially intelligent decision you can make. Waste is continuing to pour money into something that doesn't work. Waste is paying for a gym you don't use. Waste is repairing a car that's falling apart. Waste is finishing a degree you hate. Cutting your losses isn't waste. It's damage control. It's saying, I made a mistake and I'm not going to make it worse. The most successful investors in the world are not the ones who never make bad investments. They're the ones who cut bad investments fast. Warren Buffett doesn't hold losing stocks trying to, quote, get his money back. He sells them and moves on. Look, there's nothing wrong with trying things. I encourage trying things, but you have to know when to quit. And the sunk cost fallacy destroys your ability to quit rationally. Don't throw good money after bad. Don't waste future dollars trying to justify past dollars. The past is gone. Focus on the future. If you want to know more about making rational financial decisions, check out this video right here, where I break down loss aversion and why we're wired to make terrible money choices. And if this video saved you from wasting another dollar on something you should have quit months ago, hit the like button. Subscribe to Simon for more financial sanity. I'll see you in the next one. Cut your losses.